You are now watching Mind You Media.
Mind you!
We can't use that. We don't have the rights. You are now streaming Mind You Media.
Like I said, the highest compliment you could pay someone. So why Monique called it light shade?
It's interesting.
I
I
don't get it.
want to think more about the what is in the associational space between free spirit and give us free.
I know. I would actually put them on opposite, even though I see what someone made, but like
Not opposites, but I think
the truth of it is that is actually they are one and the
no,
same.
the truth
right?
of it
Like,
is. But when I think of like Ashley Free Spirit, you know,
it ain't that right? Exactly.
That's what I'm saying.
Why is
the opposite.
Ashley being at all affiliated with these things?
Not.
No.
Yes.
No. Like, even if I'm trying to, like, people are often ambivalent. So I want to like honor, like, because I believe, and this is my research, that like when you're Black, you retain a revolutionary spirit, and you either crush it through a series of like assimilationist practices effectively, or you cultivate it. And I don't even think Ashley ever had it. Okay, to be honest. Okay, she is the one person that will disqualify from ever having had it.
I'm not
I
mad.
know
I'm
some
not
others,
really
but
I'm not mad at it.
I'll keep it to myself.
I mean, I don't not mean that myself personally.
Okay,
Yeah.
Catherine, what are you trying to say? What is it?
I'm trying to move on to the next point.
Okay.
Let's go.
No. I was saying I could list some other Ashleys but I'm not, gonna go there.
We already did that in another series.
Ivan,
check it out.
Yeah,
on the page.
That's
It's
true.
Ivan.
That's true. Yeah. But yeah, there's like an image of like, the brand like Free People. I feel there's this whole like boho.
That's who Ashley is.
Exactly. And that is the opposite.
Train on top.
Aritzia. She's Aritzia and Free People.
Yeah.
Free People, is that what it's called?
Yeah, I think it is. That's why she's a free spirit. I just connected that in my
But you know what? That word, that would make more sense because she is like the free bourgeois, people of color, managerial class. That's she's up to that.
Right, the ones who are like slavery for them, but not for us. We're too light skinned for slavery.
You're free people.
Yes, she's going for bohemian, and her model for it, her exemplar for it, is like white people from Colorado, like not.
Yes, exactly.
Not a slave insurrection, okay?
Exactly.
Going for Coachella is what she's going for.
Exactly.
Yes.
Okay. So later, that's what happens shortly after they arrive. What they do that evening is go to dinner. I believe it's a cooking class followed by dinner. But the women are sitting around at the dinner table, just like having a heart to heart, which, Candiace is always lit for. And by the way, that's what, to me, how you know she's an 8, because that's my brand of 8ness too. Like, intensity comes from the intimacy and the intensity of vulnerability we are going to lay bare. Okay. But the other women are not here for it. And that is important to know. So they're just talking, and Candiace is saying like, yeah, like my mom did some messed up ish as a therapist in my childhood. Like, I can remember sitting at the dinner table across from her, and she goes, yeah, you're bipolar. You have bipolar disorder. And the women are shocked, but the like difference in the faces is really telling, because someone like Robin is like, bitch, why are you telling people your business like that? Like, that's how she reacts. Monique quickly chimes in to say, well, the thing about Southern moms is, y'all, Monique is from New Jersey.
I'm dead.
Also, to tell Candiace about her own mom.
And like, but that's why I think what she was doing is, rather than tell Candiace, she was like black splaining TM to the group. Like, I feel like this is just a thought, but I feel like she thinks her and Candiace are the black ones, and Candiace is not always doing the representative, giving the representation Monique would abide. So she's like, let me step in and intervene, and I'll translate. I'm the Negro translator. What she's speaking to is this tradition among Southern Blacks, whereby, like, it was like,
Monique is actually an anthropologist. Okay.
Here's what I wonder. Monique is famously, her story, she was raised by her grandmother. She said something about how like her and her mom, people used to think they were sisters coming up. I don't know the full story there, but I also wonder if Monique was like triggered in this way that you're talking about, like figuring the other women as white somehow, or white adjacent, or closer to white than she is. triggered into being like, no, they're gonna think that we're the dysfunctional Blacks if you say that your mom called you a dumbass bitch.
Yes,
No,
1000%.
yeah, no.
1000%.
Mhm.
And the thing, yes, and what she misses is that there are two people at that table who are actually from the South, and that's Giselle and Karen Huger, the two light skins. But
Yeah.
Robin reacts similarly, but without a kind of identification with Candiace that lets her chime in and go, I will represent what's going on. Like, because Robin has that same sensibility where she's like, you putting your family, that's on you, bitch. Like, I would not tell the nasty things my mother said to me growing up. You know what I mean?
Right,
So,
exactly.
and then Katie comes, which is, like I said, why it's Katie's redemption season, because she comes, just call her up and tell her she's a stupid bitch.
That's right. Katie has never been more right. That's exactly right.
Great idea, Katie.
But I also think this is important to note your point about the way that Monique sees Candiace versus the other ladies, right? Because it's like that really, I think, forms a lot of the basis of the initial attraction to Candiace coming on the scene, and you know what that could mean for, you know, her standing with the other women, like, okay, now I have a teammate, you know?
Yes. She was projecting that kind of like new initiate status onto Candiace, because that's what she suffered. And she said, okay, now I will. And I know threes who do this too. Now I will take over the role as mentor, who is the one doing the initiation. But of course, with her motivations at cross purposes, if she doesn't only try to bring the initiates into the group, she also uses the initiate to get closer to the group herself.
Yes. You know, and you see that same mentoring, you know, with Karen. If Karen was younger, who knows how she would be acting on a show, you know?
It's like that instrumentalizing of Candiace as your friend when you're really just using her as a means makes it impossible for Monique to see, like, Candiace don't share the same values that you do necessarily in all respects. So like, maybe Candiace doesn't want your mentorship in the ways of ingratiation and manipulation.
Yeah, I mean, she doesn't care, frankly, whether Candiace wants it, right? Like, because she's projecting it's ultimately just meant to serve her interests. Like,
But that's also the relationship that Candiace is used to because of her mom. So Candiace also
exactly.
doesn't
So
care.
she's drawn to it. So she's definitely drawn to it. Okay. So that's the first night. Then the next day is dedicated to going to the plantation, the Whitney plantation in New Orleans, where somehow they employ Curtis Bryant part-time as curator and tour guide, because
his name is Graves. Bryant is Jamal. Curtis Graves.
Curtis Graves.
This whole time in my mind, I've been like, Curtis Bryant. I don't know if that name sounds good. Like, I literally was thinking that.
Literally, Curtis is flipping in his grave. He hates that man.
That's so true.
He does, but he shares a home with him in Atlanta. Maybe this is before Jamal has relocated to Atlanta, but Curtis lives there. So Curtis is, again, he's not from New Orleans. I mean, he doesn't live in New Orleans. He lives in Atlanta, but he's giving the tour. And just, it's worth noting that Curtis is shady as hell, especially to Karen. Let the record reflect that. But so then later that night, there's nothing that we can really parse that happens on that trip that is rebounds back on Karen, Candiace and Monique's relationship. But later that evening, the women go to Bourbon Street, like after a day of trauma and hardship, they do what, frankly, they should do. Okay,
they
exercise those demons.
Right. They did what the enslaved did.
That's right. They exercise those demons on Bourbon Street. Karen sits this one out because she's still kind of reeling from the loss of her parents. And she's like, I don't have that much emotional and physical energy to do these kinds of things in my grief still. So they go out. When they come back at the end of the night to the hotel, and they're in the suite, I believe, and Giselle raises the fact that, where did she learn it? I guess Candiace was saying it to her in a private moment, and Giselle was masquerading as a confidant. But Giselle raises the fact that Candiace once said, I don't think Ashley is really trying to get pregnant. She said that to her in private, and she raises it with Ashley sitting right there. So it's Monique, Robin, Ashley, Giselle, Candiace, and Katie.
Mm-hmm.
Only Karen's not there.
And Ashley takes the opportunity gladly to be, aggrieved. And Candiace is like, okay, well, yes, I did say that to Giselle. And I just believe, Ashley, that like, if you were really trying to get pregnant, I just feel, would you be drinking this much?
And Katie nods in agreement. True. Good points. True. Points raised.
And, again, off of the basis of the things that you have told me,
remember that.
Yes, that is very key.
Yeah. Like, again, after the wedding, Ashley told her that. Ashley begins the season reminding us all. She says it's in the season 3 reunion repeatedly. So now we're being gaslit because then Monique jumps in to say, you can drink when you're trying to get pregnant. It's once you get pregnant that you need to stop. And Candiace is effectively gaslit because she goes, oh, you are allowed to drink, Ashley? Oh, no. She told you multiple times. She told us all multiple times you're supposed to stop drinking. Yeah. Because it's not that it's impossible, but it's like she's already having fertility issues. So at the advice of her traditional Chinese medicine doctor, she's supposed to stop, but she ain't been stopping.
And Ashley straight up lies because she says in that moment, no, my doctor told me I can't drink. I can't drink. It's like she literally lies because Ashley be lying like me.
Yeah. And Candiace is very earnestly trying to clarify. Well, what I'm seeing here is a kind of ambivalence, like, right? Like she doesn't use these words exactly, but the translation is like, no, I think if you're not putting your best foot forward in the attempt to conceive, something might be holding you back.
And at this point, they're strongly exchanging, but it hasn't quite tipped over into like open conflict, open argument. And Ashley is like, are you being like Dorothy right now? Are you being like your mom? And Candiace is like, okay, I mean, maybe I'll grant you, maybe like being very generous. Cause I might turn up at that kind of thing.
I would have turned up.
Oh,
I would have turned up at the lying. And everybody actively gaslighting you, like consuming alcohol bears zero relationship to conceiving a life force.
No, well, again, also, it's just like Ashley brought this up. Ashley continues to say how hard she is trying to have this baby. She's at this point, she's had a miscarriage. So it's just like, you keep talking about this. I see you're saying one thing, you're doing something else. And I'm genuinely pointing something out here. We did not ever see Ashley without a drink in hand. We also never saw her wear those compression socks. So
and then here comes Giselle shooting Belle.
Wait. First Ashley says, like, is Michael here right now for me to be conceiving? Gaslighting strategy, and then Candiace counters with, but she's basically saying there's cumulative effects, like alcohol and it's like, didn't you learn that in Dare, girl? Like, and then Ashley goes, wear down your liver, for instance. We know.
Are you a doctor? Are you an MD? Candiace said, I gotta honor it.
Well, yes, I might be.
Ashley said, no. But then again, Giselle pipes in to shoot bail because Giselle's relationship with Ashley is so interesting to think about its development over time. It just feels like she collects Ashley to do her messy bidding. So it's like, I'm gonna conveniently shoot bail, not on any kind of principle or ethic, but just instance.
Yeah. What kind of power can I wield? I don't think Giselle had a committed side right now. I think she was like tipsy, and she was just like, I want to conduct the relations here, literally conduct them, like, and that's what she did.
She said, Candiace, that's passing judgment. You're passing judgment. And then Ashley, this is the part where my ulcers started to form in the lower pits of my stomach, said, but I don't do that to you. I don't do that to you. I said.
Candiace said, no, girl, you do it to everybody. Yeah. Oh, now you're the spokesperson for everyone? Okay, and that was a great impression.
Yes, it was.
Take a drink. That was a
good one. No, I'll drink to that. But I will say, I don't remember where I was going with this, but that is an instance, another instance of Ashley acting like a white woman.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
where
judge,
you're going,
but you're also judging everyone. Yeah, go on.
And then the victimizing herself. Somehow she brings in the miscarriage.
Yes.
That's it. It's like, I have suffered a miscarriage. You are persecuting me by raising the possibility that you're ambivalent about having a child, which, by the way, a miscarriage is often an expression of that. Or after the fact of a miscarriage, people might be second guessing the thing. Not to mention, last time she was trying to conceive and talk about kids, Michael done kicked her out and said, I don't want you to be the kind of mother you had to any child. So I don't know about this.
That was
you wouldn't be ambivalent about childbearing and rearing with that man.
That was the sickest thing he's
that
ever.
Man?
I know he's done a lot of sick things, but that was so sick.
That was one of the sickest. Top 5.
Because leave Sheila's name out of it. And it's
exactly.
You know, of course, Ashley, you'd be ambivalent because you got with Michael to soothe your own wounds about your own white father who didn't want you. You don't think
what did Ashley do when he said that nasty thing about you? I don't want you to be the. She then proceeds to launch a campaign that gets Sheila booted from the house that Michael purchased for an investment, and that she.
And she also told Sheila that straight up. She went to Sheila the next day, had dinner with her, and was like, I'm just, because Michael told me this thing, and it hurts me. He said, he doesn't want me to be the father that you were to me, or the mother that
Now that's an impression, okay.
That's so mean. Like, Sheila is sitting right across from you, eating their little tabbouleh and falafel, and you gonna tell her that? Like, what can she do? Why would you say that? Like, tell her, but like, you could tell that Ashley was doing a kind of like empathetic. Like, I think she felt for her, but because she felt offended by that on some level for sure. But she also like wanted to deliver that to Sheila to be some kind of energy.
It's weird because maybe she's taking out her resentments towards Sheila in that moment. But
she's getting her revenge.
But let's move on from that. I mean, although like what we're underscoring here is like no discussion of Monique and Candiace's friendship can be complete without featuring at every turn Ashley's central role. She is their third, okay? Like it's a throuple with Ashley.
Yes.
The absent presence always.
The next day, the women split up for their date.
Because Monique says in the confessional at that gathering, Ashley, it feels like Ashley is getting a taste of her own medicine, but I know what that feels like, so it's deja vu. She's kind of like making a statement that takes no position. Ashley is getting a taste of her own medicine because Ashley was accusing her last season of being an alcoholic, or at least letting alcohol lead to the crash that she was in. Monique lost a child in a miscarriage. She knows what loss feels like. She knows what being accused of alcoholism feels like. Like
Monique is justifying some newfound solidarity with Ashley based on both having had miscarriages.
Okay, and I'd argue two things are happening because first of all, it's not a taste of her own medicine. Candiace is not accusing Ashley of being an alcoholic. She's accusing her of being ambivalent about conceiving a child. She never says like you're drinking too much in general. She's saying you're drinking too much for somebody who has been advised to not drink in order to successfully conceive.
Which I only know because you told me.
Yeah,
exactly. So in that room, it's telling, right? In that room, Monique is unequivocal. She takes Ashley's side.
Okay, but actually now I'm going to agree with Monique because I think Ashley is getting a taste of her own medicine, okay, but not in a negative way. Monique crashed that car because she was drunk driving. She said that to Ashley, essentially. I mean, not said it. Ashley was there. Ashley just tells the truth about the situation in a way that was not actually shady. And then Monique gets offended, turns it into this whole thing, protests way too much.
But you know what, Catherine? You are giving you are giving Ashley a little too much innocence, because on a technicality, she didn't do anything crazy. But when she was in that car with Robin and Giselle, mind you, she's on the outs with Robin. So she is actively trying to work her way into Robin's good graces. This is season 3, America. Okay, so she's actively trying to work her way into Robin's good graces. And when Robin picks up on a nugget, she drank. True. How many drinks she have? I'd say like 4. You see it in Ashley's face that she's like, you like that? I'll give it to you.
Yes, but it was true, and she was gaslit. And that is also what happened to Candiace here. You know, like, I know for a fact, because of this situation we were in, this happened, and now you're acting like it didn't. But I
would say Candiace's is a little more innocent, because at every turn she was saying to Ashley's face, girl, you're drinking. You know, right? Literally when Ashley told her about, like, I should not be drinking as much, she said, but you are. So it's not actually shady. Giselle just ran and tried to plant it like it was. And Ashley said, see what you're doing, coach. I'll follow through. Yeah, and then proceeded to attack Candiace about something she already knows Candiace thinks, because she literally said it in her face while they were kicking over lunch.
Yep,
okay.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. So then Monique is in the room, like, piling on top of Candiace, straight up betraying her there by siding with Ashley. But then in the confessional, she does not want to miss the opportunity to revel in Ashley's demise in this moment. Like, oh, are you suffering, Ashley? So she has to speak out both sides of her mouth, right? In the confessional, it's like, Ashley did do this to me. It does seem like she deserves every little bit, like, she's lit off that. But in the room, it's like, Candiace, have some class.
And you know, the way that thing that you're saying about speaking out of both sides of her neck takes us back to her triangulation, because at the end she centers herself. It's kind of like deja vu. Like, it's taking me back to being in that place that I was in last season.
Yes.
Can she do anything not motivated by fucking self-interest? Like, that's my thing about her. It's like, okay, moving on. Yeah. So the next day, the first half of the day, the women spend in separate groups doing various activities. We'll get to that. When they finally reconvene, they're headed to Curtis Graves' 80th birthday party at a restaurant. So on that ride, the group has reconvened to go to Curtis's surprise party. Ashley takes the opportunity, the literal night after she has this conflict with Candiace about the baby. She takes this opportunity to go, Monique, last season, you had a miscarriage. She had the miscarriage we only learned at the reunion. Okay. You had a miscarriage, and I was not sensitive to that fact.
The voice.
And it's like, that wasn't your transgression last season, according to Monique. Your transgression was implying she was an alcoholic. Bring up alcoholism, Ashley. If you're going to apologize for something, apologize for the thing Monique is mad at you for. Instead, she pivot and says, you had a miscarriage. And as somebody, you see, and what does Monique do? Wow. They both see each other and they decide. Come on. And they decide, here we go. Let's get it started. This is how we castigate Candiace for what she did last night, which was accuse a poor mother-to-be who is wounded and white, I'll add, and white, of being not recognize my victim status.
Catherine, tell us, what was the words that Monique said in the wake of Ashley's apology in the confession?
Wait, what did she say in the wake?
You told us. She said, I didn't need it.
Yes. I didn't need an apology. I didn't need it, but no. And then what did she say? But I'm going to really.
It was everything to me.
Everything?
I didn't need it, but it was everything.
Sometimes, if there's one thing that both Monique and Ashley can do, it is pick up on a plot line. Okay. It doesn't matter what happened before.
Literally, it's like they're secretly going or passing notes quietly and going, new target. I swear that of course they're in the heart triad. So manipulation, they both have it handy in their back pocket. Like they can speak across the room silently and agree to something. It's impressive.
Yeah, it is.
And so they did.
Okay. They get to surprise Curtis Graves' 80th birthday party. And I think they do those traditional Mardi Gras parades. They do a kind of, what's it called? An eighth line. What's it called?
Yeah. Something line.
Second line.
Whatever the
Second
band.
line.
The main line. The band plays as a like, I always remember Giselle doing that. It's hilarious. She goes, okay, so that's how they like show up to the party. And when they finally settle, they're all sitting at a table after surprising Curtis, and it's just the housewives. And Giselle goes, "Can we talk about our days? I'll go first." And they're like, "Okay, go ahead." And she's like, "Me and Candy Pants," when Candy Pants goes like this, as she says Candy Pants. "Me and Candy Pants went to Dookie Chase, a famous Black-owned restaurant in New Orleans, where the owner is this woman. She's held the restaurant for years, so she's a kind of pillar in the community. And the Black woman mayor of New Orleans was also invited to that gathering. It was Curtis, the owner of Dookie Chase, and the Black female mayor of New Orleans at the time, Candiace, and Giselle. So Giselle reserves this invitation for Candiace. What do we know about Candiace? Candiace worked on the Obama campaign. Candiace is well-spoken. Candiace is sharp. Candiace is clever. She's charismatic. So Giselle very clearly chooses Candiace to do this kind of political meet and greet because she feels she's best suited to do it. If you see what happens when Giselle says, "Me and Candy Pants," and Candiace does her little happy dance, Robin's face instantly. Monique.
Monique can't betray a smile, so she's like,
clearly jaloux, as my mother would say. Okay, jealous. Those hoes are jealous as hell. And then Monique switches right into fake mode. Wow, she's 80. She's 90. That's crazy. Da, 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 da. Okay, so then the women go around saying whatever else they did. It's important to note, just for that, Robin, Monique, very jealous that it seems like Candiace and Giselle are bonding. Now it's Ashley's turn to say what she did. And her and Katie, Ashley and Katie, go to a voodoo practitioner who appears before us as a white man. It's New Orleans. It's New Orleans, so he could be Haitian. Who knows, okay? But that man shows up as a white man. But that does not prevent him from dropping nuggets of wisdom.
Hey, you know what? That white man might be brother to Sarah Al-Madani's white man.
The same thing.
Dubai. So just never know.
Sarah Al-Madani's white man is from Ohio, we said. Okay, not from New Orleans.
But they have the same ponytail, so
that's right. They might have migrated out of, the Haitians in Springfield. They might have migrated outward from Ohio.
Yeah.
Enough. Enough with that. Okay. Okay. So they said, "How was that visit, Ashley?" And then you see Katie there, like. And then Ashley goes, "It was fine, and he said nothing's wrong with me, and I'm perfectly fine, and I can conceive easy if I just try."
I just believe.
It's a bold-faced lie, because what actually happens is that man draws from his tarot deck, and he goes, "Not gonna lie to you, one of my top 3 oh shit cards is sitting right at this table."
That's right. He does.
He said, "You finna die."
I wouldn't want
your child will be like Michael Darby. And
what do we have?
That prediction came true. But he notes, like, you're putting so much pressure, it seems to me, on having this child. That's why your attempts are failing. And then she goes, "But like, I got kicked out of my house last season, and my man said, like, I don't want you to be the black bitch that your mother is." And I was like, "Wow, let me hurry up and have a baby to fix this." And then the man is like, "The child is to be the culmination of the marriage, not the glue that holds it together." Ashley goes, "Oh shit!" Like that was
she said
novel idea.
Wow, that's so deep. It's so deep.
I was like, she didn't say it was profound, but she said something.
Wow. She was serious too. She was like, "Oh, I never thought of that.
Never considered it typical too. Never.
You're not supposed to just
exactly.
You're not supposed to just instrumentalize everything and manipulate.
Like, you're not supposed to just use people to get what you want in life while you pretend like you're actually this giver.
That's what you. Oh, I never thought of any other way.
And what's awkward about this too is that there's a witness besides the voodoo medicine doctor. Okay. It's Katie, right? Sitting right there.
Yes. But Ashley doesn't care. And I think,
era, so
Katie will get her licks back after this. Like, you gonna sit here and lie? I'm gonna tell your truth later. So look out for that.
Yeah,
but Ashley straight up lies, and then they pivot. But in the course of that, Candiace says, like, I want to take this opportunity. Ashley, quick note that we failed to mention. What Ashley says in the confessional in the course of visiting that white man voodoo practitioner is, I've put in my work. I'm ready to yield my profits. I shouldn't say that, but it's true.
That's what she says, verbatim.
Okay. So again, instrumentalization is what she does for a fucking living. And it's what bonds her and Monique so clearly. Yep. So Candiace takes the opportunity to say, well, on this subject, I want to apologize to you because it's, it's not my journey, but I would like to be a part of it. And I would like to know what you're dealing with. And I apologize for the way that I came at you and like, feel like I was undermining you or being insensitive. Like, no, I do want to support you. So I really apologize.
So earnest.
Ashley goes,
I don't know. It's a maybe for me.
and everyone's like, oh, what? And she goes,
listen, like the way that I am, I'm kind of a loner. I'm a loner.
And everyone is still perplexed. Like
everybody's like, people's jaws are on the floor. People are like, what? Ashley's like, it's gonna take some time for me. I love really hard and really fast. So
this is honestly something old Katie would have said, like season 1 Katie.
But have we met? Has anyone ever met Ashley? You love really hard and really fast. Girl, there's not a single bone in your body.
This like literally everyone said, girl, Ashley Darby? That's who you're describing right now. Crazy. Delusional, okay? But everyone is shocked. And so Candiace goes like, oh, like, okay, this is what you're normally, whatever. So people let her little shit rock. Nobody directly contradicts it or whatever. They let her shit rock. But later we find Candiace and Karen has pulled her aside and she goes, so that was weird, huh? and Candiace is like, I don't know what that girl's talking about. And frankly, like, it seems convenient that I apologize to her and she's acting like this. It's just like, I don't buy none of it. Okay. Now, one thing to note, Monique, again, is very pregnant and she's been kind of irritable, I will say, on this trip. Like, she has been a little grumpy and it's not a critique per se. I get it. But I think that irritability is really less about the pregnancy. The pregnancy just makes it acceptable. It's like she's sitting there like hoping people are going to get her food because she doesn't want to be on her feet. Fair enough. And like Karen comes up to her after she just has that convo with Candiace and she's like, no, Katie's getting it. And then Karen's like, okay. And then she proceeds to go, so I was talking to Candy Pants and, she doesn't feel good about what Ashley... And then Katie puts the plate and Monique's like, strawberries. I'm sorry, you talking Karen? Like, she's like lashing out at Karen a little bit. It's really weird. Okay. And Karen is clearly bringing it up because she sympathizes with Candiace. She's already told us in a confessional moment. I also don't believe Ashley's trying to get pregnant for real. But when it's earlier, when it's Karen, Robin, and Monique having that conversation on the bus, Karen keeps her mouth shut, but she does tell us in the confessional, typical 3, right? She's going to mirror what's in front of her, but she does tell us in the confessional. I believe Candiace. I agree with her. So she brings us up to Monique and Monique just proceeds to say some dumb shit. Like, it'd be one thing if we're talking about Ashley's dog died, but it's a baby. It's a human life. And it's like, girl, no one's talking about the miscarriage. Stop making this about the miscarriage. Right. Because once again, that's Monique projecting her shit.
Yep.
And intensifying the transgression that people imagine Candiace to do. It's like, if you collapse Candiace's transgress, she didn't transgress. Ashley says she was trying to get pregnant by not drinking. But then it's like now it's about Candiace being insensitive to a miscarriage. No, she never brought that up.
The miscarriage literally does not bear on this, except that it makes it even more the case. You should probably go light on the drinking if you miscarried already, right? Like that's why you pursue these alternative, to Western medicine.
It's just
practices.
like if you keep miscarrying and your doctor says, you shouldn't be on your feet, you should get in the bed. And, someone could say like, no, pregnant women are allowed to walk, It's like,
yep. But
if you're serious about it, like maybe out of an abundance of caution, if you're serious about it, like
that's exactly. If you were serious about it, you would take the abundance of caution. You literally went and solicited. Okay, like that's the point.
Yes.
Can I just interject here though? Also, that it's crazy when Ashley rebuffs Candiace's apology. She then says that she doesn't believe that Candiace can conduct herself in a mature way based on what she has seen of Candiace and Candiace's mother. What Ashley has seen between Candiace and now, first of all, my question is, what have you seen, Ashley? Because I think at this point early in the season, all you know about Candiace and her mother is mostly what Candiace has shared.
And maybe what she witnessed at the wedding.
Which is going to be them on their best behavior, right? But then it's also like
Dorothy, it's hard.
But also, Ashley, how sick for you, because Michael was going at you last season about what he's seen of you and your mother. And it's not to say it's legitimate. Don't hear what I'm not saying, but it's like, hey, it seems like that's heavy on your heart, Ashley, this idea of using a mother-daughter relationship to pathologize somebody, to distance yourself from somebody, to not me yourself from Candiace. It's like, oh, I don't think that's just an absent association. You might be using that on purpose because you just learned it from Michael's ass.
Michael. Yeah. And I also think that she thinks it's a valid critique of herself, like, well, Michael said, and it applies to Candiace. I mean,
anti-blackness. Yeah.
You mean Ashley thinks it's a valid critique of herself, and now she's projecting it out onto another Black woman. Yes, because Ashley is nothing if not incredibly anti-Black, right? So like she's clamoring for a white father, hence her persistent attachment to Michael, who says ugly things, does ugly things, and she fucking hangs in there. So when Michael does insult her like that, she goes, I am pathological because I have a Black mother. Well, apparently Candiace's mother is on bad behavior. She too must be pathological. And then that's how Ashley helps herself transcend her racial condition, is literally by now punching down onto the next Black person she can find. Yeah. That is a strategy she will pursue well into the future of this show.
Yeah.
Keep an eye out for it.
All right. Well, take us home on Curtis's birthday.
Okay, so then, Karen is sharing this with Monique. Monique says that absurd shit. Ashley approaches in the middle of it, but Monique turns up her expression, seeing Ashley come over. And I was just, Candiace needs to stop as Ashley walks up. So then Karen has to pivot. We're talking about you. Because here comes Ashley overhearing the conversation. So she must, foreclose, withhold, with close, foreclose.
Disclose.
Disclose. How do words do again? So she says, this is the situation. And then Ashley chooses to interpret it as, so Candiace didn't really mean her apology. It was all a farce. Candiace comes over. Karen actually beckons her over. Come speak for yourself because this girl is trying to run amok. And Candiace goes, no, I meant my apology, but I was alarmed by your response to it. I'll say that. Ashley keeps going back and forth with her. They go back and forth. Ashley is the one, if you ask me, turning up. Just watch it. Ashley is the one turning up. She insults her. She gets personal. Okay. Why don't you save that for the singing you're going to do later? She said something like that. That's either in this moment or later on.
Like get up out of my urethra, or not urethra, uterus. Get up out of my it's like the other Ewan.
The other you, which who knows what it is. Umbilical cord. No, that's not
umbrella.
U-turn.
Umbrella.
That's right. Get up out of my uterus and Yeah, you do. I promise I don't. I
A lot
don't.
of gold under this rainbow.
So then Giselle comes in and wants again to get, like I said, look, long story short, as we can see, Ashley clearly is the one who does these low blows. Candiace goes, okay, girl. And Ashley turns up. Candiace doesn't even match her energy. She attenuates in her. And Giselle goes, Candiace, you're getting too aggressive. Like,
It's crazy.
gaslight of the fucking century. Like,
So it's like
with the anti-black. Why? Because a light skin and a brown woman are arguing, so the brown one must be the aggressive one.
it's like y'all's ears canceled out all of Ashley's shrill. Like, wait, who made you the judge and the jury? What?
Like, it's shrill voice, literally. Like, she's gonna get loud first. Okay.
The most
It's crazy.
aggressive, well, I mean, I guess obviously there's an argument for Monique, but I feel like it's Giselle, you know?
Yeah, of course. Giselle's the most
Anti-blackness captures the senses. It's like you can only hear what confirms your belief in the pathology of the black one. It's like it's so much, you can see so much generosity out of Candiace trying to be like, no, I did. No, I can understand. No, I did. Well, you know, she's giving her so much until at which point it's unreciprocated and Ashley does not appreciate the grace. I think Candiace said that at one point. Y'all don't appreciate that I could go harder, but I don't. That's when the turn up starts.
But yeah, no, Giselle has a monopoly on aggression. So then,
Yep.
you know.
Yep. Okay, so it's like before the thing ends, Monique, it's important to note that Monique chimes in one more time to go like, have you considered that maybe because she suffered loss, she's changed? Like, you know, and it's like, you're not my friend. Yeah, like, anyway, like this whole discussion, this whole topic is one big gaslight for the viewer. Like, it's crazy and it's unequivocal. So Monique shows her ass as somebody who is clearly strategizing tacitly. I don't believe they had an off-camera discussion about it, but they both see each other, like I said, and they're strategizing to shit on Candiace. So, Kristen, you want to talk about how like the triangulation potentially involved with this, or what?
Yeah, I mean, it's like Monique's analyses that she contributes, even very like smallly, or whenever Monique pipes up, it's to discipline Candiace. Like, you might consider that, you know, Ashley has changed. Like, could it be that she's changed because she's suffered loss? Again, begging the question of the miscarriage. Nobody has been talking about that. Nobody's been talking about. It's like, girl, why do you keep inserting your experience that you seem to connect with over Ashley, like with Ashley, into this other thing? Ashley told Candiace that she's not trying to drink to take seriously the project of getting pregnant, and she's undermining what she said. That is the issue. But like, Candiace wants to map onto Ashley the thing that she has gone through, and for that she gets to be mad at Candiace and identify with Ashley. Like,
Monique wants to map on.
Sorry. So it's like, why do you keep inserting yourself? Like, we talked about this in season 3. Monique's privileged strategy of relating is triangulation. You have to always position yourself as the one that people are vying over or fighting over, or who, you know, is pulled between the poles of other people.
And the thing, I want to just note Candiace's like investment here, because she's not trying to insult Ashley. It's not like, you don't want a child for real, it's secret. Ooh, that's grounds for insulting you. She's not doing that, because when Ashley says, you know, the night before, you're ambivalent about, and she says, I am.
So in
other words, like,
me too.
Okay. Candiace is literally just fixated on like, can you just tell the truth? And then all this gaslighting just fuels her to be like, hey, everyone, like, what about the truth? Just tell the truth. Like, you're not going to be persecuted for the truth. Just be honest. She's like very invested that Ashley will just tell her fucking truth.
Right.
And Monique, at least, is very invested that she protects Ashley in her lying.
And can I just tell the truth, but also like, tell the truth, because I am ambivalent too. Like, can we not be friends over that? About their first night in New Orleans at the dinner, at the cooking class. Candiace is sharing vulnerably, and she says the thing about Dorothy calling her a dumb bitch and calling her bipolar when she was young, to say, that's why I'm ambivalent about having children. That's what she says those things for. So it's like, oh, you're ambivalent too. I'm not trying to like call you out or, you know, castigate you or ridicule you. I identify with that. Can we talk about it?
Yeah. And then she was willing
be
to
her friend.
And then in the apology at Curtis's party, she was willing to go like, okay, let me just take for granted that you do want it. And like, then maybe watching you go through your journey may help me resolve my ambivalence. Like if you feel convicted about it, and then Ashley greets it with like, no, you know what? And then says a bunch of lies about herself, which makes Candiace go, you still want to lie openly and glaringly while everybody watches you lie? Like everybody knows you're not describing a girl that we know. Like, this is crazy. So in that final moment of jealous, petty, ugly, anti-Black misbehavior from Ashley, Giselle has solicited Candiace to come out singing a happy birthday to Curtis with the cake.
Candiace. Go ahead, do your Candiace impression.
Okay, well, later I'm gonna play When I See You, the Go-Go remix. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday. Yeah.
Okay,
Mr. Graves.
As we see, she comes out singing and Ashley jumps in the song flat as hell, as usual, right? Like clearly trying to compete with her. And Karen is like, you shouldn't be doing this. You should stop. And she's like, no, he's gonna hear her. Happy birthday.
It was so atonal. It was crazy.
And who is amused by the humiliation Ashley is paying to Giselle, Curtis, and Candiace? Because really, it's disrespectful to all of them, if you ask me. Like, it is disrespect. It's mockery, and it's like that's an old man's birthday. Do you really like?
That's so true. How could I have forgotten about Curtis in all of this? That is really sad.
Yes, and it's like she's a clown, so it sounds like she's clowning, and I'm like, girl, shut up. Like, if you wanted to boost the voice chorally, you would try to come in and harmonize. But you're trying to come in and over sing her, and you're failing miserably.
Yeah.
Okay. So Monique laughs. Monique is amused, and Karen is embarrassed.
And Katie adds to the mockery by being like, happy birthday.
And then Katie's anti-Black insides actually creep back up.
Yeah.
And
not so redeemed after all.
Later. What?
I said not so redeemed after all.
It's a process.
She ain't gonna heal that shit all at once, okay? She's still working on it to this day.
Well,
she was hugged up with Chris Samuels, actually. Y'all see that?
No, but I follow her on Twitter and she's really not doing well. So
no, she's not. Yeah. She's not. She's hooked up with Chris. Okay, she can't be really dating.
That's
him,
really
so.
scary.
I don't know. It wasn't giving dating, but they were definitely making a statement by being hugged up together.
Okay.
See, it'd be. Oh, that makes me sad.
Oh, he's really caring, so he probably knows she's not well either, and it's just like
also at his better self, you know.
Yeah. I mean, even though he was controlling, it wasn't like I was like, "Oh, you're a bad person."
Yeah, I agree. It's like, and I like him better than Monique. I'll say that. So
easy.
He's no King Ray. I will say that. I was watching Ray earlier in my rewatch, and I was like,
I was watching Ray in season 3's reunion. He said, Michael, you've been having business issues too, so don't come in.
Oh my God.
Come on, Ray.
Check out our TikTok for that recap, because that was, Ray said, I'm going to let the chopper spray on you if you keep trying it, you racist old shit.
All right.
I'm going to let the chopper Ray on you. You know what I'm saying?
There you go. Okay. Take us briefly. Let's wrap this up and save all the goodies from the second half of season 4 for another video, but let's finish off with Monique's rainbow party.
Okay, real quick, the women returned from New Orleans, and even before they leave the trip, Monique is talking about all she has to do in her late stage pregnancy. As soon as she gets back, she's going to be hosting her family, Chris's family for this rainbow party, and she's the one organizing and orchestrating the whole thing, even though she's been tired this entire trip. When she gets to the airport, she's going to drive people who have landed at that airport to her house. Okay, that's how like typical busy, keeping busy 3, Enneagram 3 she's being, right? So we see the like early moments of the rainbow party before the guests really start showing up. It's Monique running around, and in a very interesting moment, she's telling the party planner, I think, or somebody who's assisting her, like, all those people in the kitchen sitting around doing nothing, tell them they better come out here and help. Like, she says something like either they're helping or they're leaving or something like that. Guess who's in the kitchen? Her mom.
Ooh. I thought it was going to be her husband.
I thought it was going to be
No, it's her mom. It's her mom who she's talking about. So that's really interesting. Because she says it very spitefully, like, those lazy pieces of shit better get up and contribute to
those
the
lazy
effort.
moms.
Oh no, we need to okay. We gonna talk about that again. Okay, so
that's actually
really
really took. Just get through this part. That is upsetting.
Yeah. So the point of a rainbow party, if we didn't already say, is like the child you successfully carry, at least past the first trimester after a miscarriage, is your rainbow baby. Someone told Monique that when she was combing the mom blogs, and she decided to have a major bash at their mega mansion in light of this rainbow party. Okay, we have literally one of the most fabulous parties, second only to Candiace's wedding, we've seen on the show, at least this season, right? But like across seasons too. So Michael and Ashley show up. We get a little snide comment from Ashley in the confessional. This is the kind of positivity I need, as compared with Candiace's bad juju. Triggering, shut up, kill yourself, hate you.
You're the one that got the tarot card, so
like your vagina has bad juju. Okay,
yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
So what happens is, in the course of the like celebration, Monique does this kind of ceremonious, like, hey everyone, this is what the rainbow party signifies. It's a like moment of grief, but also a moment of celebration. So I just want to take an opportunity to give people who can relate to the experience of miscarriage the floor. Mind you, that's the channel. Monique was making all of these gestures, right? She enabled Ashley to make this about a miscarriage while Candiace was criticizing the ongoing drinking. So this, like, let me open the floor to the other women who have shared the experience, really feels like a continuation of Monique's strategy to be like, Ashley, we got this. This is the plan. So before she gets the mic, we see Michael and Ashley sitting around at the party, and Michael is looking distressed. Okay. He's like, they're celebrating all their wealth and extravagance, but we actually cannot celebrate. We cannot. And the way he says that is as if DJ scratched the record. The celebration must be stopped because Ashley and Michael are not happy. Halts the celebration immediately. And he's like, we need to do something for our lost fetus, our miscarriage situation. And it's just like, what you get from it is like jealousy at Monique and Chris's like wealth, their, the aesthetics of their happy family, like beautiful kids, beautiful family, beautiful home, extravagant party, wealth out the ass, while Michael and Ashley live in a penthouse, not hitting on much. Don't got no baby and no bun in the oven to show for it, right? Like
Michael literally says, "This reminds us of what we don't have." Like,
that's the first so crazy.
That's a statement of envy if I've ever heard one.
And then he puts on his sunglasses.
So then Ashley gets the mic when Monique makes the call. Anybody have experiences? Where's Michael? He left. He's not sitting with his wife no more at the moment where she's supposed to be reflecting on the grief of losing the fetus. Okay. So where is Michael? Stay tuned, because we're going to talk about where Michael was. Oh, wow. Here's a hint. He was grabbing ass. Okay.
And we don't mean that as the idiom that you might know it as. Okay. He was not playing grab ass. That's what I'm saying.
Slap ass. Shout out to Key and Peele. Okay. Michael was over there grabbing ass while Ashley's like,
may I just say, as a young actress, I mean, as a young wannabe mother,
Young
I'm
wannabe.
just so touched.
like, she ain't saying nothing. You see it, America.
And I'm
It's
just,
fake.
Yeah.
It's disingenuous. She's not crying. And her man, who is presumably distraught, okay, over their miscarriage, is somewhere harassing somebody.
he's so overcome with envy that he has to go, outlet his rage, his incapacity
At
on
losing in the world by violating a black man.
Word to Curtis. I'm
Mm.
tired of losing. I'm tired of making deals because I keep losing.
Oh my God, she means Curtis
that
the King.
Curtis. I was like,
means
yo,
Curtis
why
the
you
redheaded
put Mr.
king.
Graves
Yes, not
into
Graves.
it?
Not Graves.
I
That
was
Curtis.
like, yo, you know he's dead. That is crazy.
No, the
Curtis
little
won his
redhead
battles. He
who
won his
brought
battles.
us. She thinks she's the queen, and we're the side
She
people.
with her little tiny heels, running around with her heels.
Okay, Wife Swap is one of those shows that is expertly it's peak TV.
Oh my
Shout
God.
out to Wife Swap
Wife
and Little
Swap.
Curtis, who is now like officially MAGA official.
Yeah, he's deep in that camo life.
But we still love him. We still love him with a little racist redheaded ass. Okay.
Yeah. Love a racist.
So the point is, we're gonna pick back up because we don't truly find out what Michael has been up to until later in the season. But it's important here to note that it's a moment of envy, jealousy, resentment that sends him out while
And
Ashley performs.
anti-blackness. He hates the blacks have all these things.
That's the basis of the envy is always the and then Ashley performs this little grief ceremony, and we catch Candiace also in the audience like, she better shut up because don't nobody believe her.
Yeah,
you can feel it.
All right, well,
Stay
cheers
tuned.
to Ashley shutting up. No. Let us
she ain't gonna shut
know
up.
thoughts in the comments. Agree with anything, disagree, have insights of your own.
Let us know.
And head to our TikTok page to watch the footage from the show back on these instances we're referencing. They're not gonna play here, but they're on our TikTok. Go to the TikTok. Stay tuned.
Check it out. Bye.
Bye.